Literally today, this was our first person that we got noticed by. Somebody calling us their inspiration and motivation was that, that student.
Yeah.
And that made me realize if I have people saying that to me, I've completed my job as an actor.
That's valid.
If I have that, and I know now is the best time to talk about it because Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan came out with their new movie Sinners. Like, bro, different actors, they have to get out of that shell of being an actor and they have to be that real person. How do you think that could be hard? You feel me? No? Like, differentiating, like, the stuff you put on the screen and how people actually perceive you. Bro, we saw Aaron the Plumber today, bro. We saw Aaron the Plumber today at Walmart. We saw Aaron the Plumber.
Yeah, bro.
We saw Aaron the Plumber at Walmart today. And so, bro, we're in this section. So we are out here. It's my fourth try trying to record this. Right now we at the park. We got the future generations watching us, the kids watching who just yelled at us, and who are preventing us from recording this podcast. Preventing us from reaching our goals, and it makes us think that a lot of things will have you preventing from reaching your goals. And in our case, it's these little kids who...
You said these little kids.
We're getting harassed by little kids at this point. I just won 3 races, though. The cameraman got beat. And we're out here in nature again. So I think he's watching again. You all right? For sure. Anyways, we're out here in nature. And I figured, you know what this reminds me of? A few days ago, this from the special education side of things, not the interview that we did, because we interviewed the director of special education from our school. But I think it was yesterday, the student had came up to us.
That was today, bro.
That was today?
That was today, like a couple hours ago.
Oh my God. Okay, a couple hours ago, the special education teacher at our school, I guess you can say, she came up to us with a new student because we hadn't seen him before, and he had watched our films and he was inspired by us, and he said that we're his inspirations. And our teacher has said, when you guys do your next film, your next movie, because we're doing a zombie film, to have him in as a almost an apprentice, as almost like an intern, I guess you can say.
Like have him, like,
be behind the camera, and see how it goes.
See exactly how it goes.
Exactly. And that kind of made me realize why we do filmmaking. And we do filmmaking not for us, but for the people, and, for the people that it gets to, the film that the films get to. So I want you to talk a little bit, Pat, what do you think about that reputation that we've built? Specifically when it comes to being widespread out in our school and people coming up to us, being comfortable to come up to us and say that I like you guys' work and I admire you guys in a sense.
Yeah, bro. It's actually amazing, really, because, both you and I really came from doing really nothing at the school. Yeah. Really just like an average student, just go to school and go home, right? Because that's really the mentality or the culture that's there, where, like, man, you just do your work. You just do the bare minimum to graduate, and you get up out of high school. I think that's just really universal at that point, where you just do your best to just get out of high school. But people forget that life is meant to be lived. You feel me? That experiences are meant to be made. And they really lose a lot just by doing the bare minimum and not putting their best foot forward, and not putting their all into everything they do, and searching for opportunities and looking for opportunities. And, like, many people, they're just satisfied with the basic,
with what they have right now.
What they have, they never try to go explore deeper. One of my favorite quote is, if you stay at the surface, you'll never find anything worth searching for. Yeah, bro.
Whoa.
And it's like, bro, you got to think about the kind of life that you want to live. The kind of, because we're all gonna one day gonna be reminiscing on the past. Just like right now, we be reminiscing about what happened in middle school, what happened in elementary school.
Exactly.
And, like, you want the memories that you have been made to be memorable, to be something, amazing. But some people might look back and see everything as a blur. Some people might look back and see everything as, I didn't really do anything that made me stand out. I didn't really do anything that was for me. And for just for the experience, right? And I think if you go about life just surviving instead of living, then you're not really experiencing life properly. Just think about that.
Whoa. That was so perfect, because that's something we talk about all the time, you know, with our different mentors and everybody that we have around, because it's so important to search and explore. Because as humans, if we didn't search and explore, we would have literally nothing, right? We would literally have nothing. It would literally be apocalypse, almost, right? Because everything that we've got, all the initiatives that we've taken, and oh my goodness, I had to tell you, there's this in my neighborhood, there was these kids that I used to go to my middle school with, right? And they're 4 years younger than me. So these are young kids, and these are kids that can take a lot and learn a lot, right? So his mother had came up to me outside, you know, when my friends had dropped me off, and she had stopped me. She was like, "Whoa, you were this small, and then, you know, look at you now. Like, I thought you were your older brother." Right? So she comes up to me, she's like, "Can you talk to my son? My son's the treasurer at the middle school for the beta club, yada yada yada," right? So a whole bunch of cool stuff, right? Yeah. So I was like, it's a pleasure for me to come talk to him, right? So I went inside and I started talking with him, and he started telling me about the different things he wants to do. He wants to be a marine biologist, and he wants to do all these things. And the first thing I told him, to move forward, you probably guess what I told him. I said, just take initiative. I said, just take the initiative in anything that you do in life, whether that be a club, whether that be these simple little programs, they add up. They 100% they add up over time.
Even conversations,
exactly,
bro.
Exactly.
Like people be scared to walk up to people
and have these convos.
And have the conversation, that life-changing conversation.
Today, right? What happened today? We met Aaron, bro. We saw Aaron the Plumber today, bro. We saw Aaron the Plumber today at Walmart. We saw Aaron the Plumber.
Yeah, bro.
We saw Aaron the Plumber at Walmart today. And so, bro, we're in this section, and then a worker comes up to us, and she's like, "Do y'all know who Aaron the Plumber is?" She grabs, she's like, "Do y'all know who Aaron the Plumber is?" I'm like, "Yeah, we know who Aaron the Plumber is." She's like, "He's on the next aisle." We start walking, right? But I took a picture. We're walking. We see him in this aisle. He's with a girl, right? And he has a ski mask on, bro. You can tell when it's Aaron the Plumber, but he built. He big, bro. It's Aaron. We could tell. And he has the tattoos and stuff. Yeah. So we know it's Aaron the Plumber, right? And bro, the worker, she's like, what do we do? Because, right, he looked like he didn't want to be bothered. And I get that as celebrities sometimes, you know, you're different from who you are on camera. You're way different from who you are on camera, right? And that could bring us into another topic, but I'm going to finish this first. So we're walking, and we see him, and the voice like, what should we do? And we go back to that aisle, but he left. He had left. And so as we're walking out, we see him at a cash register, but we were too scared, bro. I was kind of scared.
I wasn't there. He texted me just now.
I texted him. I saw Aaron the
Plumber.
Oh my days, bro.
That's hilarious, bro.
That's an opportunity gone. That's
initiative
I didn't take.
Initiative you didn't take.
Initiative I didn't take, bro.
That could have been either a simple conversation or a completely different life story, bro.
I could have got punched in the face that day, bro. He
did
not look like he wanted to be bothered, bro. Y'all know Aaron, he gonna catch the fade, bro. He gonna catch his fade, bro.
You missed that, and you also missed out on whatever you could have possibly missed out. I guess you'll never know, bro.
I could have missed out on an opportunity to collab with Aaron the Plumber. Y'all want to see Aaron the Plumber on the podcast?
On the podcast. Come on, I'm just now thinking about that, bro. Yo, bro, tell her, hey, bro, we got a podcast. You feel me? If you want a box, we can put you on the podcast.
Days. We could have fought him, bro.
Yeah,
we could have fought him on a podcast, bro.
We could have jumped him and still lost.
Bro, he didn't look like he wanted to be approached. And I feel like, I'm not gonna lie, as an actor sometimes, you know, actors they play a whole different thing from, you know, the way they're on TV, and their whole personality can be different from how they might seem in person, right? An actor can be super nice in person, but maybe when you take a video of him, like, you know, maybe when you see them in a store or something, they might be a whole different way, you know. And actors have to hide a lot of stuff, right, from the media and the press and stuff like that. I remember this from The Walking Dead. You probably don't know who Glenn is, but he's a character in The Walking Dead. And I remember after he departed from the show, he said he wanted more from his character. He always wanted more from his character, but he never had that say in the show because of how they wrote his character. You know what I mean? He felt like his character didn't get what his character deserves. He felt like his character could have gotten more. So I feel like in our aspect of content creation, especially filmmaking, how do you think it is like bro, different actors, they have to get out of that shell of being an actor and they have to be that real person? How do you think that could be hard? You feel me? No? Like differentiating like the stuff you put on screen and how people actually perceive you.
Yeah, exactly, bro.
That's what I'm trying to say.
I remember being younger and like
thinking actors were married IRL.
Yeah, thinking actors were married, or thinking like a bad person in a movie is actually a bad person IRL.
Man, I hated the Joker. Man.
Like, bro, I would see someone in someone who acted as a villain in one movie, but a good person in another movie, I'm like, nah,
no, bro. He
like being younger,
he put it
bro.
on that facade, bro.
Yeah, really. Like, you know, an actor is a really good actor.
If you hate him.
If you hate them, bro, no matter, like you can see them out in public. I'm like, man, I hate you, bro.
Bro, from the
really
look, from The Walking Dead again, bro. There's another character who people hated because he had betrayed Rick and his group.
You spoiling it for the viewers, whoever they
bro,
want.
If you haven't watched The Walking Dead, I'm about to say the character's name. Click off right now for a second. Eugene. Eugene is the character from The Walking Dead who betrays Rick's group, but he comes back around and he literally deleted all his social media.
Really?
Because people would text him and threaten him.
No way.
People would text him and literally threaten him.
Yeah, that's insane,
so he deleted
bro.
The whole thing.
Yeah,
bro.
A lot of people have a hard time with
dealing with the fame.
Like, no, just even the audience in general.
As in the audience deals with the fame.
You need to understand that whoever that person is on screen is not who they are in person.
Exactly. Man, and that made me realize how comfortable people get. You remember when Jake Paul used to put his address on full blast?
Nah, he did that?
His address was leaked. Like, people would know his, and people would literally come to the house and literally get tours.
Yeah, bro. That's crazy.
That's scary.
That's
scary. And that was, I feel like that was one of my biggest drawbacks.
Oh yeah,
from acting.
I remember.
You remember we were walking on the railroad track?
This man did not want to become an actor.
I didn't want to be an actor for it. You can say the reason.
Bro, this man, I had to have a conversation, bro. I was trying to
he smacked some.
Was trying to smack some sense and peer push him.
This is September 2024.
His dream. So we was walking at Still Mountain, and we was talking about, you know, acting and purpose and, you know, pursuing the stuff that you want to do in real life, right? And so he of course wanted to do content creation. Of course wanted to play in some movies that we make, but he never said that he wanted to be a really like big actor. Yeah. Famous actor, because of really one thing, like fame was holding him back.
Having
very
that privacy,
much, bro, because it's a sacrifice.
Yeah,
but everything in life is a sacrifice.
I saw 3 trophies and I was like, I don't really care. I saw 3 trophies and I don't really care no more. So the whole thing changed, bro. I swear, people have standards, but once something comes in, now everything comes out the window, man.
Bro, this guy, bro.
But I feel like that's more of an integrity thing, like keeping your integrity no matter what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know exactly what it was holding me back. That of course it was that fame, but it was a full 360 after, because you realize, yes, it can be a drawback of not being able to go to Walmart, not being able to do simple things.
Do things,
but,
bro.
But you have to ask yourself, and you always have to ask yourself one thing: is the sacrifice worth it?
Yeah.
And 100% in my eyes is worth it. Because the different people you can inspire. Literally today, this was our first person that we got noticed by. Somebody calling us their inspiration and motivation was that, you know, that student. Yeah. And that made me realize, if I have people saying that to me, I've completed my job as an actor.
That's valid.
If I have that, and I know now is the best time to talk about it, because Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan came out with their new movie Sinners.
The new movie Sinners.
You haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen it yet. But I'm definitely gonna go watch it in the IMAX thing. And bro, we saw the cameras and the amount of sound that they make.
Bro, it's crazy.
God bless the sound editors.
Yeah, bro.
Oh my goodness, bro.
Yo, everybody even there, bro. It's just so much that goes into filmmaking.
So much.
But about the sacrifice thing, you know, you have to sacrifice for what you want, or let what you want become the sacrifice.
Oh my goodness, bro.
Because
you always outquoting me, man.
Because like you gotta understand in life. I remember like when I was a little bit younger, when I was, you know, looking into the different career options that I could take, and my favorite question to ask was, how's your work-life balance? You feel me? That used to be my favorite question. I used to ask lawyers that. I used to ask everybody in so many different careers, you know, how's your work-life balance? Because I felt like in life you had to have balance.
100%.
And I feel, but now that I've gotten a little older, and now that my ambition has grown, like I've realized that to get to a certain level, you have to still make sacrifices.
100%.
You have to bro, because the people that I wasn't asking regular people who worked regular jobs.
These were people who worked bigger jobs.
Yeah, exactly. So it was like they didn't work a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like an on clock, on schedule kind of thing.
The cameraman.
This man just took a little water, but it wasn't an on clock, on schedule type of thing. It was something that they had an obsession for. You know, like athletes having an obsession over their sport.
Yeah.
You know, actors have obsession over their roles,
Yeah.
etc. But you have to, if you want to be at that level, you have to
Have balance.
do certain things. No,
Yeah.
actually, the opposite of
Oh,
balance.
really?
If you really think about it, because balance is what's mediocre.
We had a whole debate about this.
Really.
Yeah, we had a whole debate about balance
What you
and
where?
multitasking. Your brain can't multitask.
Oh yeah, me and you.
Yeah.
Are you talking about me and you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like your brain can't multitask.
Yeah.
You can't do multiple things
Yeah.
at the same time.
Yeah.
Your brain is always switching between those two different
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
And like everyone always talks about having balance in life and being a balanced person, a work-life balance and whatnot.
So you disagree?
But I highly disagree because I think if your job is, if you pick the correct job, then it doesn't really feel like work.
100%.
That's a quote from Kobe.
Yeah, that is a
right?
quote from Kobe.
So like if you pick the correct job, bro, it's like you could spend 16 hours working that job.
And you wouldn't
could-
feel like
it would still feel like hard work, of course. But it would feel rewarding at the end of the day because it's more than just money.
Yeah.
And it's like
You get happiness.
Your career at that point becomes your purpose. But it really depends because I can't say it's a one shoe fits all kind of
100%,
thing. Because I had multiple conversations with multiple different people who wanted to live different kind of lives, right?
Yeah.
If you want to be that kind of person who just lives a chill life with your family, but that's amazing. That's fantastic. But if you want to be that kind of person who's very ambitious, goal driven, and like wants to be the best of the best in what you do, then you can't live that sort of work life.
You gotta put 100%.
Yeah, you gotta put 100.
You gotta put 100%. And that comes with sacrifice.
Yeah, exactly.
That comes with a big sacrifice.
A lot of sacrifice.
And so, how about? Because I feel like for a lot of people, it becomes like too much.
Yeah.
Maybe at some points, even if you love it,
Mm-hmm.
because too much of anything is bad for you.
Mm-hmm.
Too much of anything is bad for you. So where do you think you draw the line in terms of where you take a break? Because is there a difference between a balance and a break?
Yeah, I think I was watching this YouTube video, right, on how like the benefit of proper resting.
Oh yeah.
I think people in this generation have mistaked a break and proper resting for something that is like completely different.
Yeah.
Proper resting is, doing like an active rest day. Like let's say you go for a walk, you're out in nature, you're journaling, you're doing things that benefit you. But what do people consider? Oh, I'm taking a break. What do people do when they take a break? They open up Netflix.
Yeah.
They open up TikTok.
Yeah.
They get to scrolling. They hop on the PlayStation.
And that can change your whole momentum.
Yeah, bro. That could I feel like that's not proper resting.
Yeah.
And I think because of that, people are always drained.
100%.
Are always drained.
These are things that don't bring back your energy. They drain it.
These things, because these are the things that you're constantly consuming, and if you're constantly consuming things that are negative, then that
all your thoughts will be
affect
negative.
you.
Exactly.
What?
Yeah.
Listen, bro. What you consumes you. And like people don't realize that.
And what you're taught.
And what you're, bro. Like it's just like a lot of who you are is based on the reality that has been shown to you.
Exactly.
And like
Let's preach that, man.
So it's like, bro, if you put a lot of your energy into things that are opposite of your goals, or things that are opposite of where you want to head in life, then you're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah.
Earlier we was talking about cognitive dissonance.
Yeah.
About something completely different. A different topic, but I think it's very much related to this.
100%.
It's essentially when your belief and your values don't contradict your actions.
Yeah.
And like that will lead you to your brain to be foggy. That will lead you to need to make the choice to either one, change your beliefs, change your values, or change your actions.
Exactly.
And a lot of people become comfortable in that sort of nest of saying that, man, I want to do this, I want to do that.
But their beliefs go whole different.
Bruh, like their actions go completely different.
Yeah.
Because
and we
it's
struggle with that.
Yeah.
We struggle with that.
Like it's like, man, you can say you want to do this, but it's nothing really until you actually go do it. You feel me?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Holy. Because we were just talking about that. I feel like a lot of stuff we talk about off the podcast, we talk about on the podcast. I'm back to what you're saying about your reality shapes you, because we talk about this a lot.
Yeah.
Scientists did this experiment called the Little Albert experiment in the 1900s. And so they brought a little kid, maybe I think it was 3 or 2 or something, right? and they brought him, and they did an experiment on him. His name was Albert, little Albert experiment. And they brought him to this room, and they brought in stuffed animals, right? They brought in these cute animals, right? And so they bring them in, then they take them out, bring them in, take them out. Then what they changed was they brought in the animals, but then behind little Albert, they play it like they bang a sound. So his brain started associating these sounds with the animal. So every time they bring in these animals now, no matter what, if the animal's cute, even the animals he was cool with before, he'd start crying. And he started getting... So his brain, because of what he was taught, because of his reality, he was scared of these animals now because of that bang. And what's the crazy thing is, nobody's heard of him now. Nobody, his mother wasn't even aware that the scientists were doing this type of experiment on him. And that just goes to show how spongy the brain is. Yeah. Especially at a young age. Especially at a young age. You think about...
I like that.
You think about how they killed Aristotle. I'm pretty sure Aristotle. They killed him because he was teaching the people of Rome, the kids, the children of Rome, that there's more to than what the Romans are teaching them.
They did that to Socrates, too.
They did that to Socrates. I'm pretty sure it was Aristotle. Yeah. Maybe now they might get my philosophers mixed up. It was either Socrates or Aristotle. Correct me if I'm wrong. But you look back in history, and a lot of the people they killed, they were teaching something that went against.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Malcolm X.
Malcolm X,
MLK.
Goodness. What happened? What was that? What was that thing with Malcolm X where they bombed? They did something to his house, right?
I'm not sure.
They did something to Malcolm X's house, but the thing is, he was willing to die on what he believed. He was willing to die on everything he believed.
Everything he's
Martin Luther King
But
Jr.
That's a whole different conversation. I remember we had this conversation a year ago, man.
Yes.
About those that that got killed, but because of what they believe,
in.
because of what they say, and how much it goes against
everything,
against the norms. But they stand on that no matter what.
And we have to bring that back in terms of everything that we stand on. We got to start standing 10 toes down.
Yeah, exactly.
Because last time you talked about people will change their whole career plan because of what another person says.
Yeah, bro.
To please that other person. Yeah. And I remember you were telling me about that. And it's like we got to bring back the points where it was death before dishonor.
I was going to say that.
Death before dishonor.
Yes.
It was standing on what you believe in until the day you died. And you ready to die on it 10 toes, no matter what.
Yeah.
You feel me?
People see that as an extreme.
An extreme ego. People see that as ego. But in my opinion, no. I think it's a different form of self-love. Being willing to stand on what you stand on. Because
self-love,
we wouldn't have
self-value.
We wouldn't be able to be here if we didn't stand on what we believed in. Yeah. You feel me? Because we created these, we created films, we're doing interviews, we're interviewing these different interns, so we're getting these different, things, right? And today, I was talking with my success coach, my college success coach, and she says, I be seeing you around. I be seeing you go outside the norm. I be seeing you do things outside the norm. I see your film playing on this and whatnot. And to somebody who used to try to stick in, somebody who used to try to lay low, stay low key, like, and knowing that did not work for me, knowing that me being a yapper, I had to be outside. I had to go against the norm, go against what the crowd was going with, man. Yeah. I had to.
But that's crazy. But that's always going to be an uphill battle.
Always an uphill battle.
Because it's like you're going against
comfort.
Against comfort. And you're going against the norm. Yeah. And sometimes, bro, people take that personally. Even if it doesn't have nothing to do with them. Like, it's like they feel sort of a kind of jealousy.
Undermined.
Yeah, they feel undermined. Like, man, who does this man think he is?
Bro, but you gotta realize, you gotta have the audacity.
Bro, you gotta have the audacity.
You gotta have the audacity. I was talking to, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was talking to my mentor, Mr. Wright. And so I remember, you remember when we were editing? And I remember there's this one clip, there's this one frame we're editing. We're sitting at night, it's like 2 a.m. maybe. Yeah. And we want to sleep. And I remember we finished up editing this one panel for color grading for our film. And I remember we asked you, we were like, bro, do you like this? Patrick had the audacity to say no.
I was like, nah, we gotta run that back.
But the thing is, that's so much better because now I know in my head that this guy's never gonna lie to me.
Yeah.
It's 2 a.m. Bro. I know he's tired. I know he wants to sleep. To sleep. But he has the audacity to say, no, I don't like it.
Yeah.
And you gotta have those type of friends who have the audacity.
Bro, yeah, bro.
To be honest.
It's crazy.
Honesty, because honesty goes a long way.
Yeah.
Man.
Bro, it's crazy because, like, bro, as we were saying about being able to have that audacity, bro. Like, so many people, like, what we're doing is as you said, outside the norm. So some people see you as someone who is different, sort of weird, in a sense, because what you're doing is stepping outside of that social norm, and it's like they might look at you different. They might be like, man, who does this dude think he is? Right? And they're like, they sort of end up looking down on you as a sort of like protective mechanism.
Because it's way easier for somebody to sit back and be like, look at that guy, he thinks he all that.
Yeah, bro.
He think he all that. It's way easier, bro. Think about it. Why would you want to put yourself out in the ocean? There's a chance you could drown.
You could drown.
There's a chance you could drown.
Hold on. This is exact words from the book, the book that I've been reading.
Yeah.
What was it called? 12 Universal Laws of Success. Yes.
Perfect.
Super Achievers Edition, right? And it talks about the 4 different kinds of people.
Yeah.
There's the players, there's the watchers, there's the wanderers, and there's the wanderers, right? And a player is someone who is out in the game.
Exactly.
And it uses the analogy of a baseball game.
Exactly.
The player are those actually playing the game and, putting themselves at risk. The injuries, the hard work, doing everything that they do to play the game. Yeah. Win or lose or draw, they gonna play the game regardless. And the watchers are those that are watching the game, wishing that they would be playing it. And what you're saying, those people who sit back and just talk about those that are watching the game,
exactly.
They're watchers. They're the ones like, man, I would do that, but I wish I could do this, this and that, and they come with excuses. And then there's the wanderers who are even outside of the stadium, not even
watching, knowing that the game is going on.
Bro, they're wondering. They hear the noise, so they're wondering. I wonder what that is. I wonder what's going on. And then there's the wanderers, which is different from wanderers, because the wanderers are not even in the parking lot, because the wanderers are in the parking lot. The wanderers don't even know what's going on, bro. They're just, those are the people that live life on a day-to-day. They just live life searching for the next high. You feel me?
Oh my goodness.
Like they
gotta be a player.
Surface level. But the best thing to be is the player. Of course, injuries are gonna come along the way. Of course, accidents are gonna come along the way.
But that's the part of the whole plan.
That's a part of the whole thing.
And again, you have to have that audacity.
Exactly. To go out and put yourself in the game.
Sit on the sidelines and not get injured because you're watching it.
Yeah.
You're not involved at all.
Bro, not at all,
but
bro.
in there, when you in the game, you in the game.
Yeah, man. You're like the fans could be screaming at you, could be yelling at you.
Whole bunch of different things.
And
you gotta just accept it.
Yeah, exactly.
And just walk.
Exactly, bro.
That's huge, man. That book is so book is so amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
It reminds me of other books, Atomic Habits and Mountain of You. Mountain of You is another good book. But I feel like a lot of these books have that same exact reoccurring theme.
Yeah.
Of the only way to get out there is get the scars.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a promise that you're gonna fall and fail, and you gotta accept that failing is a part of the whole game plan.
There's this quote from Aristotle: "You are what you do every day. Therefore, excellence is not is not a behavior, but an act."
Oh my goodness, bro! And that goes with everything that we've been doing, in terms of the way we walk and the way you carry yourself. Because the way you do one thing is the way you do everything.
Yeah, exactly.
The way you do one thing is the way you do everything. You start once your principles start fluctuating, your whole life is going to start fluctuating. Because if you don't have a foundation to stand on, then you have nothing to stand on.
It's all about
that quote,
habits.
where it's like, if you stand for nothing, literally, what are you going to
fall for? You fall for everything. Yes, that's one of my favorite quotes too. Bro.
You fall for everything. So once you find out the platform that you stand on, and you know it's so secure, because there's a difference between having ego and there's a difference between having confidence, right? Ego can be broken, right? Anybody's ego can be broken because the ego doesn't have good foundation. But confidence, something that that poise, that charisma that you build up with years of experience, getting scars,
putting that reps in,
putting those reps in, literally, that's something that can't be broken, because that's true self-love.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true self-love, man.
Yeah,
oh my goodness. And I feel like a lot of these dreams that people can have, and it's like it's manifesting in front of us. I know you saw the Ryan Coogler speech with him being like, his wife actually paid for his first software for writing. He couldn't afford this software in film school, so his wife helped him out, and that's that power couple dynamic. Because I feel like friends and relationships, right? the people that you keep close to are so important.
Yeah.
Because they're reflections of you.
Exactly.
And if you can't have that some person to rely on, and if you can't like have somebody that's there for you, then it's like, what do you have? You know what I mean? You have to have yourself first.
Yeah, of course.
But then you have to have you find somebody that's helping you that has the same goals as you.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? And it's like it's perfect because the people you surround yourself are the people you become.
Yeah, bro.
Literally, man.
You think we done give them enough wisdom for today, bro?
I low-key think so, man.
Yeah,
I low-key
bro.
believe that we did, man.
This was great.
This was amazing.
All
This
right.
was such an amazing experience.
Go Pirates, man.
SMHS Wisdom. Go Pirates.
SMHswisdom.